Welcome to Hancock's VMware Half Hour.
And welcome back to another Hancock's VMware Half Hour, and a prosperous and a healthy new year to all those that are watching the channel. Okay, so in today's video, we're going to go back to this beast. We're going to go back to our Minisforum MS-A2. And sometime last year, it seems such a long time ago now, Broadcom, the engineers at Broadcom, created a Realtek driver for ESXi 8 and /9. Now, I was going through the comments on the channel, and I'm going to create a shout out to channel member Henry Chan 1973. Henry, this video is for you, mate, because what we're going to do today in this video, very quickly, we're going to download that Realtek network driver from Broadcom, and we're going to install it on our MS-A2. And that should allow us to use the second or first, whichever way round you're looking at it, because the Minisforum MS-A2 has got two 1 gig network interfaces, and it's got two 10 gig interfaces. One of the interfaces, well, tell you what, let's get in and have a little look at that now. So if we actually basically, so I'm just dialed in here to the HTML5 interface. So there's no vCenter here, and if I have a little look at networking, and if I have a little look at physical NICs, then currently you can see we've got VM-NIC 0, which is it's got a driver installed for that, which is how we're actually connected to at the moment. And we've also got two other NICs, VM-NIC 1 and VM-NIC 2, which are two Intel X710 NICs, SFP based, to provide you with some 10 gig in the box. But as pointed out by Henry, he said, I bought a new MS-A2. ESX is missing a network adapter. Realtek seems it needs to be installed driver. Well, at the time, Henry, when you posted that, which was 3 months ago, there was no Realtek driver. But I suspect, and I'm just really kind of spitballing here and having a guess, I suspect that because the MS-A1 and probably the MS-A2 was certainly home lab servers of choice last year, and a lot of people basically were deploying VCF on those PCs, servers, whatever you want to call them, and it was lacking a Realtek driver. I suspect that engineering decided that I think these were also featured at some of the VMUGs as well, and I think they were featured at Explore as well. So I think engineering probably decided that they were going to create a Realtek driver for these to be used in home labs and demos, etc. It's available as a Fling. I'll post the URL for this in the description. Once you're logged on to Broadcom, and once you're logged on to the Fling URL, it is a bit higgledy-piggledy and all over the place. They're not really even in alphabetical order. So you can very quickly, you can just search them down and have a little look. Or you can actually basically just type Realtek, and hopefully it will sort them. And there we go, Realtek network driver for ESX. So as I said, I'm going to do this in real time. So release 1.101.1, so we're going to click that. As I said, you do need an account for this. Now, I'm going to put my hand up here because I'm not a fan of Realtek network interfaces at all. And to be honest, really, this is really legacy and going back a long time when Linux didn't play very well with Realtek. I just don't like the network interfaces. You know, if I was going to use an interface, a network interface in ESXi for my home lab, I would look at Broadcom interfaces, or I would look at Intel network interfaces. Those brands, but okay, needs must. That's just me personally. I don't like Realtek. I don't like Realtek network interfaces. But if you have a need, all I'm going to say is, if you're going to try and use these in production, then just be a little bit cautious. Okay, so we've downloaded that driver here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use WinSCP to, let's just open up that folder. And I'm going to open up WinSCP, which is already connected. So I've got SSH enabled. If we kind of go back over here, I actually have the host in maintenance mode as well. So I've got the host in maintenance mode, and you can see all this yellow warnings here. SSH is enabled, ESX shells enabled. It's moaning about the TPM2 device because the TPM2 device in this particular PC is not compatible with ESXi. We know about that. So SSH has been enabled as well, and it's in maintenance mode. Not that I've got any VMs on or running, and they wouldn't be running anyway if I was in maintenance mode. It's just one of those habit things, really. Okay, so let's just go back to my file explorer, and I'm just going to drag and drop our driver, a VMware -re for Realtek, driver _, etc, .zip. So I've basically just dumped that onto a data store, which currently exists on our host. So here comes the magic. So I'm going to show you a couple of things. Let's go back to networking, and we can see we've only got 3 NICs in here at the moment. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up an SSH session. And I'm going to use a command lspci and just hit enter. And that's just going to scroll up the screen with a load of PCI devices. Now, in there somewhere, you will see 2 Realtek devices. So I'm going to use a grep. So I'm going to do lspci space pipe space grep Realtek enter. So there you go. You can see on this particular PC, we've got an Ethernet controller, 8125, so an RTL 8125 2.5 GBE controller, which is device 03:00. And we've got another one, an RTL 8126 5 GBE controller. Now, this really, I've just bought this from Amazon. It's cheap as chips. And I just really wanted to bang it in the PCI slot on the MS-A2 just to demonstrate that this driver does work for the RTL 8125, 8126 and 8127, which is a 10 GB interface as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the following command. Now, I've gone back through all the comments, and some people do suggest that they do actually have an issue with the commands that I'm using and they can't see them. I've gone back over the videos personally, and I've had a little look with them, and even on my phone, and on a PC, and also on a TV as well. And I don't necessarily have a problem myself, but anyway, I hope that I'm zoomed in enough for you so you can actually basically see that command. And I'll put that command as well in the description, or I'll put it on my blog as well, which might be a little bit easier to read. And I've already noticed there that there is a typo, so I'll go through the command that I'm going to use. ESXcli space software space component space apply -d, followed by the path to the driver. So I've just noticed it's /vmfs /volumes and volumes, VOLUMES, datastore 1, followed by the driver name, followed by enter. So after we basically hit enter, it's probably going to basically come up and turn around and tell us whether or not that we need to restart or not. So I'm just going to hit enter. Okay, so it's actually basically saying there that it cannot find the file could not download depo at. So let's just check to see whether or not that I've actually basically got that path right. So VMFS volumes datastore 1 followed by the driver. Okay, so there must have been a typo there. Okay, so there we go. Very quickly, the update completed successfully, but the system needs to be rebooted for the changes to be effective. Okay, so now the driver has been installed, it does actually state there reboot required equals true. So with that, I'm just basically going to go to our Nano KVM, but there's lots of ways that we could have rebooted the server. We could have typed reboot in the SSH connection, or we could reboot from the console, or we could actually basically log on to the server and we could reboot that way. So I have had a few issues with this KVM getting the, yeah, there we go, there it's doing it again. Not accepting the password correctly. I have no idea. It just seems to be interpreting the keys incorrectly. Not going to work. Okay, let's just actually basically log on and we'll reboot the old-fashioned way. So I'm just going to basically select reboot host. Of course, it's in maintenance mode. That's going to go down shortly. It's in maintenance mode. We've got no VMs running, so we're not going to have any outage, etc. So what we're hoping after we've done the reboot is the driver is going to be loaded and we will see those two interfaces effectively installed or connected. Now, this is actually probably going to boot Ventoy because it's our first boot order at the moment, because we've been experimenting with lots of stuff. So I'm just basically going to say do that, and that's actually going to boot ESX. This is the latest and greatest version of ESX. It's ESXi 8.03 Hotel H, which came out on the 15th of December 2025. I was going to say just before Christmas, but you know, it was 10 days before Christmas this dropped. So we haven't necessarily rolled this out yet because we couldn't actually basically see any specific CVEs that it addressed. The same with vCenter Server. There's a new version of vCenter Server 8.03H possibly. Don't hold me to that as well. But again, I couldn't see any published CVEs for those, so we've sort of kind of held back, and a lot of the organizations that we were working with had big change freezes over the Christmas period, and a lot actually basically finished early, a lot earlier for Christmas this year on the 19th. Anyway, so let's log back into our host. And we're going to go to networking, and there we go. If we look at the VMNIC 3 and VMNIC 4, and I'll tell you what I'll try and do is we'll just try and log into those, zoom in. So VMNIC 3, VMNIC 4, now basically the driver IF_RE, IF_RE, which, and you can see here, this is the internal one. Because all the MAC addresses are similar, 5847 CA7F CC24, and then this one here is our 5GB interface. So there we go in a nutshell, and that really is for, again, Henry Chan 1973. That basically said that he bought a new MS-A2. ESXi is missing a driver 3 months ago. Yep, 3 months ago it was missing the Realtek driver, but as I explained at the beginning of the video, it looks quite like VMware Engineering, Broadcom Engineering decided to compile a driver for us for in the home labs so that we can enable that driver. But again, as with most of the software which is available in flings, they're not supposed to be used in production, and they are really issued as tech previews. So your mileage really is going to vary with them as to how well they're going to work in your lab. Anyway, so that's it for me in this particular video. Thanks very much for watching me, Andrew Hancock, at Hancock's VMware Half Hour. I hope you've enjoyed this video. We'll also have a little look at ESXi 9 on the MS-A2, and we'll do exactly the same procedure with ESXi 9, installing this Realtek driver as well, so you can use in your home labs. So there's just one more thing for me to say, really, and that's a prosperous and a healthy new year to all of you. And be safe, stay alive, and be kind, and work hard. Goodbye now.